This is the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 7, and it reads, And when you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be not troubled, for such things must need be, but end should not be yet. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, and shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And I say shalom to you Akim out there. And this is a quick sit-down lesson for in the news through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Shai on this August the 16th, 2022 at 10:10 a.m. p.m. Central Standard Time on this Tuesday morning, 10:10 call Yahweh Shai. Yeah, on this Tuesday morning, and this is a news article from LA Times, and this is an update on increase of wars and rumors of wars and nation rising against nation as we continue to see it grows in the latter days. And this is a news article right here, and it reads, U.S. South Korea to conduct expanding military drills amending North Korea's growing hostility. It says the U.S. and South Korea will begin the biggest combined military training in years, starting next week in the face of increasingly aggressive North Korea, which had been ramping up weapons tests and threats of nuclear conflict against Seoul and Washington. The South military said on Tuesday the Allies of summertime drills will take place on August the 22nd to September 1st in South Korea under the name of Shai Freedom Shield will include field exercises involving aircraft, warships, tanks, and potential tens of thousands of troops. The U.S. underscored Washington and Seoul's commitment to restore large-scale training after a cancellation of the regular drills and downsize others to computer simulation in recent years to create space for diplomacy with the Pyongyang and because of the Word 19 concerns. And it says the U.S. Department of Defense also said the U.S., South Korean, and Japanese natives took part in a missile warning and ballistic missile search and track exercise off the coast of Hawaii from August the 8th through the 14th, which said was aimed at further trilateral cooperation in the face of North Korea's challenges. While the U.S. and South Korea describes their exercise as defense, the Yuchi Freedom Shield will almost surely draw an anger reaction from North Korea, which describes all Allied training as an invasion rehearsal, has used them to justify its nuclear weapons and missiles development. China, North Korea main ally expressed concern over the expansions of U.S. military exercise with its Asian allies, saying that it could worsen tensions with North Korea. The Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin didn't offer a specific answer when asked whether Beijing believes the trilateral drills in Hawaii were in some ways directed at China. It says North Korea has repeatedly expressed concern over the joint drills, Wayne said. In a briefing on Beijing on Tuesday, the negative impact of the military exercise of the situation on the North Korean peninsula is worth paying attention to. All the parties should act prudently and stop any actions that may increase tensions and confrontations, the damage or mutual trust, he says. Salaki for that. It says before they were shoved or down, before they shelved or downsized, the U.S. and Korea held major joint exercise every spring and summer in South Korea. The spring training has been highlighted by the live fire drills involving a broad range of land, air, and sea access, and usually involve around 10,000 American troops and 200,000 Korean troops. Tens of thousands of Allied troops have participated in the summertime drills, which have consisted of computer simulations to home joint decisions making and planning. Although South Korea's military has emphasized the revival of the large-scale field training this time, officials at the South Korean Defense Ministry and its Joint Chief of Staff did not comment on the number of U.S. and South Korean troops that will be participating in the Yukon Freedom Guardian Shield. The drills will kick off along with a 4-day South Korean civil defense training program led by the government. Employees will reportedly include exercise simulation, joint attacks, frontline reinforcements, arms, fuse, and removal of weapons and mass destruction. The Allies will also train for drones attack. Other new warfare developments shown during war on Ukraine and practice joint military civilian response to attacks at seaport, airports, and major industrial facilities like semiconductor factories. And it says the biggest meaning of the UG Freedom Shield is that it's normalizing the South Korean-U.S. combination exercise and field training, contributing to the rebuilding of the South Korea-U.S. alliance and combating defense posture. Moon Hung-sik, a defense ministry spokesperson, said during a briefing. Some experts say North Korea may use the drill as an excuse to stir up tensions. The North is ready and warning of a deadly retaliation against South Korea, which it visually claims were caused by an anti-Pyongyang propaganda leaflet and other objects flown across the border by balloons launched by activists in South Korea. They are concerned that this North Korea's threat, issued last week by powerful sister of leader Kim Jong-un, pertains to a provocation, which means including a nuclear or major missile test, even border scrimmages. Kim Jong-un, spokesperson of South Korea Joint Chief of Staff, says South Korean and U.S. military will maintaining a close watch on North Korea's military activities and facilities. Animosity has built up on the Korean peninsula since the U.S.-Korea nuclear negotiations derailed in early 2019 over lifting crippling U.S.-led sanctions exchange for the North Korea's disarmament steps. It says Kim Jong Un has since declared that North Korea will bolster its nuclear deterrent in the face of gangster-like U.S. pressure, has halt all cooperations with South Korea, exploiting a division in the United Nations Security Council over Russian war in Ukraine. North Korea has dialed up weapons testing a record pace this year, conducting more than 30 ballistic launches. They have, including the country's first demonstration of international ballistic missiles technology since 2007. The Fear Test tactical system designed to be armed with small battlefield nukes. It says Kim has punctuated his testing gains with repeated warnings that the North would proactively use its nuclear weapons in conflicts with South Korea and the United States, which experts say indicating a escalatory nuclear doctrine can cause concern for its neighbors. So yeah, these tensions are definitely stirring up between these nations, because you got the allies with Japan, South Korea, and the United States. Was they about to start their long-awaited drill, which starts next week, I believe from August the 20th, and it's gonna last all the way to September the 1st. And Kim Jong-un made that statement, I believe it was last week or close to 2 weeks ago. He made that huge statement saying he was going to use nuclear capability and a nuclear warning to South Korea and the United States, because he looked at them as a threat, as the United States and South Korea look at North Korea as a huge threat, So, those tensions are definitely stirring up, because you got China and North Korea, as I was reading the article, said they good allies with one another. So you got China and North Korea basically versus United States, Japan, and South Korea. These tensions are definitely stirring up. And that goes into the Matthew's 24th chapter, verse 7, which is nations rising against nations and kingdom against kingdoms. That's what we're starting to see increasing on an everyday basis, because these wars and rumors of wars are definitely stirring up now more than ever. It's heating up. The nations rising against nations are definitely stirring up. Hostility between the nations are increasing now more than ever, And I'm going to bring that scripture out, and I'm going to close out the sit-down lesson for today. Salakia. And this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 7, and it reads, "For nation shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places." Right, because we're seeing the increase of the nations rising against nations, as I mentioned before, and it's definitely increasing now more than ever, because it is definitely increasing on a higher scale, especially nowadays on an everyday basis. So every time you see on the news, the wars and rumors of wars is definitely increasing, and it's heating up, Matter of fact, I know I said I was going to bring out that last scripture, but through the Spirit, let's bring this out as well to Salakia. This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 9. But when each year hear of wars and commotions. Be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Right, because the end is not yet, because these prophecies are definitely heating up, and these prophecies are definitely coming to pass, because it's a lot more prophecies still need to come. The MOTB, which is recorded in the Revelations 13, verse 17 to verse 18, and the Revelations 11, the big one, the Revelations 11 and 14. Second world was past, behold, the third world coming quickly as well too. And the MOTB, which is at Karagma, everything is going to be digital currency, but that's for another topic. But the main topic at hand of the sit-down lesson, these proxy wars, commotions of wars and rumors of wars are, definitely heating up. As a matter of fact, since I brought out that Revelations, because we are definitely living in the book of Revelations, because it's increasing. As you see with the Russian-Ukraine situation, then you got the China versus United States, then Beijing and Washington over the South China Sea, over Taipei, that situation increasingly. Then you got the situation over there in Yemen, as they continue to have a little trust ceasefire agreement. Violations keep on consistently being broke. You got the Iranian-backed military Houthi groups against the Saudi coalition, and then Saudi Arabia's allies with the United States. And I believe I did a video on that as well too, about the United States and Saudi Arabia was doing military exercise drills. I believe I did a video on that about like 2 days ago. So hey, these wars and rumors of wars increasing. These proxy wars between the nations, adversaries against one another, Salaki, is definitely increasing now more than ever. And this is the book of Revelations, chapter 11, verse 14. And the second woe was past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly. Right, because the third woe coming quickly, because we seeing signs of that. We seeing these signs of these nations ramping up and increasing and intensifying. These military joint exercise drills, as I've stated and mentioned before in my previous videos, I've been doing lessons on it, of these increase of military joint exercise drills, military live drills, real live simulation attack type drills, increasing now more than ever, So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy. Get the Hawaii Al Shai. And first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, preaching this word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, before I close out the sit-down lesson on this August the 16th, 2022, at 10:28 p.m., in the a.m., I meant to say Salaki, on this Tuesday morning. So yeah, these wars and rumors of wars are definitely heating up, and the nations rising against nations are definitely really increasing. It's really stirring up. These tensions between these nations are definitely heating up. That lets you know that these holy scriptures are definitely 100% true and accurate. So yeah, these nations are definitely stirring up against one another. That's why it was recorded in the book of Matthew 24, verse 6 to verse 7, the increase on an everyday basis of nations rising up against nations, kingdoms against kingdoms. The wars and rumors of wars are starting now more become a reality as we see it right before our eyes, And so with that, I will say shalom and a ball.